There are three levels of a biodiversity already we known: genetic diversity, species diversity, ecological diversity. This third type, ecological diversity, it is also known as a ecosystem diversity. Here we take the informations one by one along with the examples. The first one, diversity, genetic diversity. The differences among organisms on the basis of a genetic variations that leads the genetic diversity. It is intraspecific diversity with respect to the number of types of genes as well as chromosomes present in different species. Each and every organism having its own genetic makeup. Plants, animals, microorganisms, generally they shows variations among themselves due to the special kinds of a genetic makeup they include in themselves, and due to the genetic variations, genetic diversity present among the organisms. Genetic variations, that means allelic genes, leads to the individual differences. Differences, that is the morphological features of these organisms are different there within the species. Such variations improves the chances of survival and reproduction of a species. So that is the importance of a genetic diversity. The genetic diversity which is necessary for improve the chances of survival of that particular organisms or the species as well as reproductions of that species in the changing environmental conditions. If the evolutionary changes takes place there, if some environmental conditions may get changed there at that time, due to the genetic diversity, it helps to improve the survival capacity of that particular organisms. Here some examples related with the genetic diversity. In India, there is a presence of about more than 1000 varieties of mangoes in different regions. While if you discuss about the crop variety like a rice variety or wheat variety, generally it is present above 50,000 species in India. And the next one example about the medicinal plant generally found in a Himalayan ranges. In Himalayan ranges, in Himalayan regions, the medicinal plant, that is the Raulpia omitoria, that is the one species. A medicinal plant found in different Himalayan regions. It ranges, it shows the variations. It has an active component reserpine. It shows the variations in the terms of potency and concentration of active chemical from location to location, single one species, but region to regions. It shows the genetic diversity related with the chemical concentrations as well as potency. So that is the example. These are the examples of a genetic diversity. It is diversity, it is a kind of intraspecific diversity, single one species, but it shows the genetic variations region to regions there, and it shows the chances of improvement as well as it also improves the sustainability of a particular species. Genetic diversity is essential, is necessary. For which purpose? It is necessary for the healthy breeding, improvement of a species as well as populations of a species. Greater the diversity, greater the differences, greater the genetic variations there, better would be the results, which brings about the sustenance of a species in a changing environmental conditions. So this is the first one type of a level of a biodiversity, that is the genetic diversity. Then the second one type, that is the species diversity. Species diversity is interspecific diversity with several different kinds of species of plants as well as animals. Here the example, amphibians. Number of amphibians, if you take a count, And if you compare about the number of amphibians generally present in Western Ghat as well as Eastern Ghat, so species diversity of amphibians is more in Western Ghat as compared to the Eastern Ghat. Some adaptations or some environmental conditions, environmental factors may be responsible for that variations, such kind of variations. Natural undisturbed tropical forests have much greater species richness than the monoculture plantations of a timber that the woody plant for the plantation. So these are the examples related with the species diversity. And one of the speciality of our country, of our India country, the 15 nations who generally shows the species diversity. Among them, India is one of the country who who generally shows the richness in a species diversity. Then the third one type, that is the ecological diversity, or it is also known as the ecosystem diversity. It is related to the different types of a ecosystem, different kinds of a ecosystem on the basis of habitat of that particular organisms within a given geographical area. Different organisms shows different habitats, and naturally there is a formations of a different ecosystem. So this ecological diversity or ecosystem diversity generally based on that. Ecosystem diversity is remarkably high in India while quite low in Norway. In Norway country, this ecological or ecosystem diversity low, while in case of India it is high. Various ecosystem in India, which ecosystem generally found in India: deserts, rain forest, deciduous forest, estuaries, wetlands, grasslands. Such a different ecosystem generally found in India. So in India there is a rich ecological diversity is present. So these are the three levels of a biodiversity. Genetic diversity based on a genetic variations. Species diversity based on a species variations, plants, animals, species variations, while the ecological diversity or ecosystem diversity generally based on such different kinds of a ecosystems. Based on a different kinds of a ecosystem, organism generally shows the variations as well as differences. So this is about a levels of a biodiversity.